The Lynk Co. 08 arrives in Europe at a moment when the brand finally has something to prove. For years it sold a single aging model here, while the real momentum stayed in China. This is the car that changes that, and it does so by walking straight into the heart of the premium plug-in hybrid segment, the space owned by the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLC, and the Audi Q5. What makes that interesting is not the badge. It is what sits behind it. This is the technical twin of the new Volvo XC70, built on the same Geely architecture, with the same safety engineering, and now sold across Europe through Volvo's own retail network. That alone tells you who this car is really for. On the outside, it carries itself like something more expensive than it is. The copper finish here shifts in the light, and the upright, almost monolithic body has the same confidence you see in recent Range Rover and BMW design. The light bar runs the full width of the tail. The indicators cascade, and there is a clever touch hidden underneath that rear glass. The wiper tucks away out of sight and only appears when you need it. At 4.82 meters long, riding on 21-inch wheels in this. More trim, it has presence without trying too hard. The turbine-style alloys catch the light. The wheel arches are finished in high-gloss black, and the frameless doors with their flush handles fold out to meet your hand. The Matrix LED headlights are slim and aggressive without being fussy. Standing in front of it on the showroom floor, the proportions read as something Scandinavian rather than Chinese, which is no accident given where the design and safety work happened. It is not overdone, which is important. Inside is where the story really begins, and it is the reason this car matters. You sit in it and immediately understand that the build quality is not just good for the money, it is genuinely segment-leading. The first time I ran my hand across the dashboard, I had to remind myself what this car costs. The seats use a high-grade leatherette that is soft to the touch and deeply cushioned, with microfiber inserts, ventilation, and a massage function on both the driver and passenger side. That last detail is the one owners keep talking about, because it is the kind of feature you normally only find in cars costing far more. The whole cabin is animal-free, finished with this honeycomb texture across the dashboard and doors, real ambient lighting, and a copper tone that looks expensive rather than flashy. The recent German rivals have quietly downgraded their interiors. This one moved in the opposite direction. Ahead of the driver is a 10-inch instrument display and a 15.4-inch central screen, with the Harman Kardon system here running 23 speakers. There's wireless charging, generous fast USB-C charging on both sides of the console, and a feature that almost no other manufacturer offers. A direct feedback button that lets you record a thought and send it straight to the company, which then uses it to shape future software updates. If details like this help you decide which car is worth your money, subscribe so you catch the next breakdown before you buy. Now, it is not perfect. The climate and seat ventilation controls live inside the touchscreen rather than on physical buttons, and reaching them while driving takes longer than it should. I found myself wishing for a single row of physical switches more than once. But the screen is large and quick. The voice control handles most of it, and the company has already confirmed software updates to bring the most used functions to a swipe-down shortcut menu. The limitation is real, but it is the kind that gets fixed over the air rather than living with you for the life of the car. The rear seats continue the same quality. There is real legroom and headroom for adults over 6 feet. The floor is almost flat, and the same plush materials carry through with Alcantara inserts and that blue tone that suits the car. The doors get the same honeycomb texture and soft surfaces as the front, with ambient lighting threaded behind the speaker grille and a fold-down armrest with its own adaptive cup holders. It is properly 5 adult capable, which a lot of cars this size only pretend to be. Behind that, the boot opens to 540 liters, expanding to over 1,200 with the seats folded, with a flat floor and a removable rubber mat that hides extra storage for the charging cable underneath. The headliner is a soft suede-like material rather than the usual hard plastic, another small sign of where the money went. Then there is the part that defines this car. Under the hood sits a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, but it spends most of its life switched off. The combined system produces 345 horsepower and 428 pound-feet of torque sent to the front wheels, with 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. What matters more is the battery. At 39.6 kilowatt hours, it is roughly double the size of a BMW X3 plug-in hybrids pack, and it is large enough to support DC fast charging, 10 to 80% in 33 minutes. Almost no plug-in hybrid can do that. In real testing at steady speeds, this car returns well over 150 miles of pure electric range, which means many owners will drive it like an electric car and treat the engine as backup. There is one honest trade-off worth knowing. At sustained high motorway speeds, the electric efficiency drops sharply and the range roughly halves. But the hybrid system is built exactly for that situation, switching to the petrol engine automatically so you never have to think about it. For the way most people actually live with a car, in the city and on the open road, this is one of the most usable plug-in hybrids on sale. What the Lynk Co 08 represents is a shift in where the value in this segment now lives. It does not chase the Germans on driving dynamics, and it does not pretend to. Hard acceleration reveals some front-wheel scrabble, and the body leans more than a sharper rival would. But in the showroom and on the road, it answers a different question. It offers an interior that feels a class above, a battery that behaves like an EV, and a price that lands well below the cars it sits next to. For buyers who care more about how a car feels every day than how it behaves at the limit, this is one of the more interesting options to appear in years. And if this is the direction the segment is heading, the next few years are going to get very interesting. For watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.